السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم. وبعد. Dear brothers and sisters, Ramadan is right around the corner. We are only a month away and it is fast approaching. And this is always a special time of the year when we're counting the days for this blessed month to start. And we ask Allah to allow us to attain, achieve, and realize all of the great bounties and blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has waiting for us in the blessed month of Ramadan. Dear brothers and sisters, we are in unprecedented times. We are in the midst of a global pandemic. COVID-19, the coronavirus, is something that is at the forefront of all of our minds and something that has all of us concerned all of the time. And so much so that we haven't prayed, at least in my locality, and as I'm sure many of you have experienced the same, we haven't prayed Jummah in 2 weeks as a community. We haven't had the ability to go to the masjid for even daily prayers as it is now closed, and in many places either closed or very limited. And the reality is that the numbers of those being affected by coronavirus are on the rise, and this may very likely go all the way into Ramadan, and which means that we may not get the same Ramadan experience that we have gotten for our whole life, where we've benefited from the great blessings that we experience in the masjid. And we may not be able to pray Taraweeh in Ramadan this year. We may not be able to have iftar even with our extended family and friends on that first Saturday of Ramadan as we're used to having. We may not be able to go to the masjid and hear the Quran recited by our local sheikh, and we may not be able to hear our imam brighten up our day and inspire our hearts with that beautiful nightly reminder that we're used to receiving. And we may not, even the fasting experience may be drastically changed because many of us are now working from home. Our children are not in school. Universities are closed and everybody's home. And so even the format of the fast may be very different because we'll just be homebound. And that can be a very a trying experience without having our daily routines to keep us in our regular lives. So we have to put ourselves in the right mindset from this point on, and that is very crucial to making sure that we are going to maximize our Ramadan experience. And that's one of the primary things we need to do at this point to get prepared and to be ready for Ramadan. So ultimately, our Ramadan experience is about achieving and trying to realize one primary goal, and that is increasing our taqwa, increasing our consciousness, our awareness of Allah. And one of my favorite definitions of taqwa is ilmul qalb biqurb al-Rabb, is knowledge of the heart that Allah is near. That our heart knows that its Lord is very close. And so that's there. Even if we're not going to have our masajid available to us this Ramadan, that ultimate goal that we're trying to achieve is still achievable. And so even in this scenario where we are not going to be able to connect with Allah in an optimal manner because of this non-optimal scenario that we now face, we still have the ability to achieve that optimal goal, which is to be connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So dear brothers and sisters, for many of us, this is going to be a Ramadan where we're going to be spending a lot of time, very likely, with our immediate family. And so it's important that we get ready to experience Ramadan that way. Get themselves ready, get yourself ready, talk to them. How do we set up the house? Which room do we set up to be the musalla for Ramadan? maybe we already have one set for the rest of the year. We should designate a space in the house for that particular purpose. And this Ramadan may need to be even a more comfortable space. Who's going to be responsible for leading Taraweeh? Because we're not going to drop Taraweeh just because the masjid is not open. We're going to continue that tradition, that great practice, that sunnah in our own households. We may not be able to go to the masjid, but we are still able to, of course, pray. And then for many of us brothers, many of our brothers and sisters, they, may not have their family with them. You may be living in a single situation, may not have your loved ones around. And so your experience, you also have the ability to connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a very intimate sort of way. Yes, social contact is very important. Some of that can be achieved in by virtual means, but also don't throw away this great opportunity to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by yourself. Spend that special time with Allah, reading His book, praying alone at night. Everybody, should buy a stand where they can put their mushaf on and read from while they say their Taraweeh prayers. The point is, get your mind and your heart ready for this very different experience of Ramadan this year. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it the most incredible, blessed experience that it can be under the current circumstances. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.